Hello, everyone. My name is Destiny Powell, and I am so excited to introduce to you for the first time ever real estate in color. I've got to bring you up to speed on how we got to real estate in color. As I tell the story, just know that I'm doing episode 1 in 3 parts. That way, I'm not overwhelming you guys with so much information and you're not like, hurry up, Destiny, get to the point. But let me just first introduce myself. My name is Destiny Powell. Some of you may know me by Destiny Jones, but Destiny Powell is my real estate legal name. And I am a licensed realtor in the state of Florida, serving the beautiful Emerald Coast all the way from 30A to Escambia County. And I am having the time of my life as a realtor. I got my license back in 2023, February of 2023. I knew from the very beginning I was going to sign on with my brokerage. I was sold on the culture before I even got started. Super excited. Onboarded with the brokerage. Started off in coaching for would say maybe about the first 9 months of 2023. And after that, I decided I needed a little extra push. I needed some momentum and structure. So I joined a team with my brokerage. And I had 2 team leads who kicked it into gear for me. A month later, I had my first deal under contract, a listing. And then by the end of December, I had closed 3 deals. So I knew I was in this for the long haul. I was having so much fun with it. And now we're in 2024, ending the year of 2024. It is November, right after Thanksgiving. As you can see, my Christmas tree has been up because I love Christmas. I put my Christmas tree at probably the very end of October because I just don't play about Christmas. But we are finishing the year strong. I have 1 listing that just went active last week, a week ago today actually, and it's a beautiful condo over on Okaloosa Island waterfront property. And so I like to say I'm doing pretty good as a new agent with my brokerage, but it's been a tough journey getting here. And so what else? I'm a single mom of 2. I have a teenager who is a senior in high school. I know I look good and doesn't look like I have a senior, but I do. She is a beautiful 17-year-old young woman who is hoping to join the Air Force right after high school to follow in her grandparents' footsteps. I cannot be any more proud of her. And then I have a son, Jackson. Whew, Jackson. I always say if I had him first, there would not have been a number 2. But Jackson is my 9-year-old. He is in 4th grade and he is all boy, keeps me on my toes. I was not prepared to have a Jackson, but God bless me with Jackson and I love him. He is my partner, my cheerleader. He goes to open houses with me in his suits. He's cheering for me when I roll out the driveway, holding up my open house signs, and he's been cheering for me since day 1. And I could not be more blessed with both of my babies. It's a challenge for sure, learning how to balance being a realtor and a mom full time. But by the grace of God, we have gotten here and lots of sacrifices have been made. And we'll talk about those sacrifices in later episodes. But how did we get to real estate in color? So what I think about is, have you ever seen The Wizard of Oz, the movie The Wizard of Oz? My all-time favorite movie. And if you've seen the movie, you know the same experience that I'm talking about, where it starts off in black and white and Dorothy is in Kansas and she's going through everything that she's going through with Toto in Kansas and Auntie M, and then a tornado comes and whirls her and her house up in the air, and then the house lands in the land of Oz. And she gets her basket up, she gets Toto together, and she walks out. She's super curious, and then the scene changes and everything is in color. What an experience. I can remember seeing that movie, even now, seeing that movie and just leaning in close, being drawn into the vibrancy of the colors. And and the differences that you didn't see in the very beginning of the movie, and you're just in this trance almost of all the beauty from the munchkins, and all the different colors that the munchkins are and the colors that they're wearing. And then the yellow brick road is so bright and vibrant, and you see all the plants and the flowers. And then the beautiful Glinda, the good witch, comes out in her beautiful pink gown. I mean, everything's just beautiful. Oz and the Emerald City and the horse of a different color. And so that's what this made me think about, just because, for a lot of you, not just in real estate, but for a lot of you, you see things in black and white. You don't see things in color. And that's been the journey that I've been on since I got my license in real estate, almost being a little sad that even in 2024, we are dealing with the issue of color, and how some people don't even want to see color. Some people don't recognize color. Some people are offended by color. And so I decided to call my podcast Real Estate in Color, just because I've got so much to say, so many different experiences that I have experienced as a woman of color in this industry, in this area and climate that I live in. And so that's why I came up with the podcast Real Estate in Color, just to tell my story in hopes that other realtors, not just of different colors, but different backgrounds and religions and upbringings, can share in the journey that I am on. Know that you're not alone. Feel empowered, and understand how you can still come out on top as being a realtor of many colors. And so some of these topics will ruffle a little feathers, and that's okay. It's okay to have uncomfortable conversations. Some of these may offend you, and that is not my intention to offend anybody, but the truth does hurt sometimes. And there's been a lot of hurt that I have dealt with in my short time as a realtor. But it's also going to be empowering. And that's the part that I'm super excited about, is through the journeys that I go on to empower you guys and embrace the wonderful melting pot of real estate and realtors that we are. And so I want you to go on this journey with me. I want you to embark on this journey with me. Share your stories with me. Comment, share, like, tell everybody that you know. I'm really excited to introduce to you Real Estate in Color. I had to lose those headphones. They were giving me a headache. Those headphones are just not for me. I've got a headset that I work with every day, but that's a different type of headset, and they're just not for me. So we're not going to wear those today. We'll figure something else out. But let me bring you up to speed. I know we talked about, real estate in color and what this podcast is about. I am really looking forward to doing interviews with people, from attorneys to seasoned agents that have been in the game much longer than me, who know this game a little bit more than me, other people of color and diversities and backgrounds, and how they've navigated through the world of real estate. I am looking forward to taking you guys on location, where we may go and pop in on an inspection or an appraisal, just so you guys can see what my world looks like. I know you see a lot on Facebook and Instagram, the under contracts and the just solds and just listed and clear to closes and all the different celebrations, the open houses that I get to walk into, these multi-million-dollar homes on the water. You guys get to see that, but you don't get to see everything that goes on behind the scenes, the background, the stepping in poop, literally, the sand spurs that I get into, that I don't know how I got into, getting bit up by fire ants and putting open house signs out in the rain. There's so many different parts to this journey that you guys don't get to see, and those are the parts that I actually want to share with you, and it'll be fun, it'll be funny. So I'm looking forward to bringing you guys along this road with me. But one of the topics that I can't skip over, that I thought I would introduce to you in episode 1 of Real Estate in Color, is too colorful. I do these quote unquote too colorful. I tried writing this out. I tried doing this strictly audio. I've tried recording this message several times and just couldn't nail it. And every time I would go back and listen to the playback, I was like, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. We recently had a training session for our brokerage, and it was about unconscious bias and dealing with the different diversities within our community. And at the end, I was just left furious, where the lesson itself was very impactful. I learned a lot from it myself, but at the end, there was no room for conversation. It was as if, all right, we checked a box. We're good to go. Now y'all go be realtors and be the best realtors you can be and don't offend anybody. There was no conversation, and that really made me upset. And a little backstory, we'll go into that in another episode, but I would say maybe about 2 months ago, presented some concerns of mine and some hurts that I have dealt with within my market center to my leadership, and their silence towards me has been extremely loud and hurtful and heavy, and I've carried that weight with me for the past few months. Still expected to do the dance, still expected to show up and smile and pour into others, but it's been hurtful for me. There's been days where I have dreaded even getting up and going into the office. For what? Y'all don't see me, you don't hear me, you don't understand me, you don't even try to see things through my lenses. And that's one of the things we talked about in the training, is seeing things through other lenses. It's not my job to convince you to change, but see, hear, listen, have the conversation. But because you're uncomfortable, the conversation doesn't even get had. So I'm left hanging. And so I'm just frustrated. I'm just going to be transparent. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be raw and honest. I'm frustrated. I'm hurt. I'm angry. I left that meeting feeling angry. I was boiling inside because I felt like we're missing it. We're still missing it. Where we could be doing better by now, we haven't even begun to scratch the surface with dealing with subjects around diversity and inclusion and a safe space for us. So, too colorful. Let's touch on that. I joined the brokerage, like I said, in 2023 of March. 2023 is when I joined the brokerage. Again, I was excited because I was sold on the culture, family first. No, I'm sorry. It was God first, family, and then business. I loved that. I was like, sold, sign me up. I don't need to hear anymore. And I remember watching on social media a year prior, I was watching this event that the brokerage was doing where they stop everything for a whole day and they serve their community. They give back to the community. And I loved that. I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. And so the day came, I joined in March of 2023. And I want to say maybe by April, May time frame, they were doing beach cleanup. And I was really excited about beach cleanup. Now, let me rewind real quick. Before beach cleanup, I walked into the office to sign my paperwork to onboard. And the first question I was asked, how many times did it take you to pass your exam? And that caught me off guard because I felt like, why does it matter? You know, how many other people do you ask this to? Do you ask this to everybody? I'm getting ready to pay you guys to be here underneath your umbrella, and you're asking me how many times it took me to pass my exam. And so it wasn't the question, it was the way it was asked. Even it was very condescending. And so I said, just once. You know, I had promised myself I was only going to take this test once. So I took the test, passed the exam. I want to believe I passed it with flying colors, but I passed the exam, and I'm in there signing my paperwork. Signed it. I left feeling some type of way about that question, but you know what? Whatever. We'll just pretend that wasn't really what I was thinking it was. So going to the meetings, showing up to the trainings, and not one person speaks to me. Nobody speaks to me, and that hurt. That really hurt. I was like, what am I missing? Was I supposed to bring cookies? Was I supposed to do something? Because nobody's talking to me. Even when I would speak, it was as if I was annoying them. There was definitely a tone in the office, and that tone was not something I wanted to deal with. One of the joys of recording in your house is you've got little ones running in and out. So I had to stop for a minute and tell them to shh, be quiet, mom's recording. But I'm back now. So there was definitely a tone in the office. It was uncomfortable, but it was very pronounced. And I knew what that was because I've dealt with that tone my whole life. So fast forward, we're back to where we started, beach cleanup day. And I'm so excited because who can be mad when you're at the beach? If you don't know, the Emerald Coast has some of the most beautiful beaches, crystal clear water, white powdery sand. Doesn't get any better. People spend millions every year to come down here to our beaches. And so who can be mad, right? So I get my gloves, I get my hat, my sunblock, my water, my shades. I am ready. You can't talk me out of this. I'm ready. So we get to the beach cleanup day. Our whole office is meeting up there, and we're going to be in charge of picking up trash, cigarette butts, all the stuff you see that people leave out on the beach, but also filling in the holes because we have these turtles that lay eggs. It's nesting season here. And so we're filling in the holes so that other critters and people don't tamper with their nests where they've laid their eggs. So we get the instruction, get a bucket, grab your little trash picker uppers, and partner up. We want you to buddy up. This is a buddy system. And I want you to walk up and down the beach, and just pick up whatever you see and fill in the holes where you see holes. And then I want you to come back and talk about what you found. So I immediately felt like I was a girl back in middle school all over again during PE where nobody picked me. Now, then they had a reason not to pick me because I had no athletic bones in my body. They should not have picked me in middle school. But here, we weren't playing sports. Nobody picked me. So I was all by myself. I even saw people partner up in threes. So even if they wanted to, they could have. They just chose not to. And so I remember walking up and down the beach by myself, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, watching people from my office pick up trash, take selfies, take pictures of the water, high five, have fun, laugh, enjoy themselves. Because again, you can't be mad when you're at the beach. And I'm watching by myself. Not one person said, "Hey, Destiny, come with us, come stand with us, come walk with us." Not one person. And they saw me. And so I remember crying behind my sunglasses, feeling lonely, feeling pain, feeling like, why am I paying dues to this office to be treated like this, to be ignored blatantly to my face? Again, that tone was very loud. It was very present. And I was just done. I remember after the day was over, I turned in my bucket, my pinchers, and I left. I drove home crying. And I want to say maybe a few days later, I had a conversation with my coach, my real estate coach at the time. I don't even know how the topic came up, but I was just saying that, I was struggling in my office. I didn't feel like I was reaching my full potential because of the weight that I was feeling. There was a tone there. They were ignoring me. They weren't even speaking to me. They were annoyed by me speaking to them. And he said, "Destiny, can I share your story with some of the higher ups at my office?" And I was a little reluctant because I didn't want to stir the pot. I was new. I wanted to kind of just keep my head down and not be in anybody's way, not cause any trouble. And I said, "Only if you don't tell them my name. I'm fine with that." So the next day, he called me and he said, "Do you want to switch offices?" I didn't even know that was an option, but yeah, of course. Now, mind you, rewind again. I called a good friend of mine. She was the very first person that I spoke to about wanting to get my real estate license. And I asked her, as another woman of color, "Hey, what's the climate like? What's the tone like? Do you feel it? Do you notice it? Is it going to be difficult being a person of color in this area as a realtor?" And she said, "You'll feel it. You'll notice it. But you got this. You can do this." And so I went ahead and got my license. And I remember telling her and sharing with her the tone of the office that I was feeling and telling her, did I miss something? Was I supposed to bring cookies or a cheese platter? What am I doing? What am I missing? Because they're just not being kind to me. They're not noticing me. They're not speaking to me. I've not dealt with so much blatant, like just almost harshness. Like, why are you in my space? And I remember, I'll never forget this. She says, "Destiny, you're not doing anything wrong, but maybe you're just a little too colorful for that office." And that stuck with me because I knew what she meant. I could read between the lines and it hurt because, again, in 2024, we're still dealing with this. This is still an issue. And so I said, "Okay, I'm too colorful. I get it. It makes total sense. Everything adds up. Everything's connecting. I'm connecting the dots. Got it." So I had a decision to make. Do I want to leave the office or do I want to stay? And so I felt like, let's give it a shot. Sure. Left the office and started at a new office within the same brokerage, but in an office that accepted me. When I tell you, not one person said, "Destiny, why are you leaving? What can we do? Is there an issue?" Not even one person said goodbye to me. They didn't care. They didn't notice me. I was non-existent to them. So started at the new office, so excited to be there. I was welcomed with this huge, huge hug, and I was told how excited they were to have me there. And from then I hit the ground running. I got into a team from joining that office and got my first deal under contract a couple months later and closed 3 deals by the end of the year and started 2024 off strong. But I will never forget being told, Destiny, maybe you're just a little too colorful. And so I had a choice to make with that statement. Too colorful. Too colorful, too colorful, too colorful, too colorful. I can take this and allow it to keep piercing my heart and hurting me, or I can take it and flip it. I am too colorful. I am. The color of my skin is too colorful. The way I wear my hair is too colorful. My personality, the way that I dress, the way I interact with people, it is too colorful. And that's not something I will ever dim for anyone. And so being too colorful is not a bad thing. It's just not something that everybody can handle. And I will tell you, the things that I have dealt with, even after switching offices, has sucked. Not because it's gone on within the market center, but things outside of the market center. You guys will never understand what it's like to set a listing appointment on the phone and be excited because somebody's like, yeah, we do want to sell our house. Lucky you should call. Or I'm glad that you called. And I do need to sell my house. Can we set up an appointment? Yep. When can I come by? So we set the appointment. I get everything prepared. I'm ready to talk to them about the price and how we're going to get it done and how much they're going to walk away with. I get to the house. I ring the doorbell. And they show up to the door and they see me. And when I tell you the look on some people's faces when they see who's at their door, if looks could kill, you sometimes feel so disgusting and so low and so small by the way some people will look at you, because I am not what they expected to see. They could not tell who I was when we set the appointment over the phone. I've dealt with that. I have also dealt with hearing the most crudest of comments on the phone. Our job in our industry, if you do it right, is a lot of heavy lead gen. And so I do a lot of phone calls around the areas, and I talk to so many different people every week. And again, they don't know who they're talking to. They don't know who they're dealing with on the other end of the phone. They don't know my ethnicity or my upbringing or my background. They don't know anything about me. They just know I'm a realtor and I'm trying to help them in their real estate needs. And they will say some of the most racist, crude comments to me. And I smile and I say, I hope you have the best day. And then I have to pause my dialer, take off my headset, put it down, and just take a couple of deep breaths. Sometimes I have to get up and walk away for a few minutes because it hurts. But that's where we're at in 2024. We're at a place in 2024 where I have to still decide, Destiny, how do you want to wear your hair today? Because you don't want this person to not choose you because you look a little too ethnic. I've had to tone down my hair. I've had to tone down how I dress. I've had to watch how I speak, because this is a sales business. And I don't want anybody to look at me and say, I don't want you. You can't get the job done. I want them to look at me and my appearance and say, you're professional enough. So I've had to tone some things down. Where in my culture, we're colorful people. Very colorful. We express ourselves with our hair and our makeup and our clothes and our excitement. I've had to tone myself down in this climate. Whereas other climates, other realtors don't have to do that. That I can handle. I'm a big girl. Like I said, I've dealt with this all my life. I am 41 years old. I can remember the very first interaction I had when it came to racism at daycare. I remember it. That's not something you forget. The problem is when you deal with it in your own market center. That's supposed to be your safe space. And when it's not made to be your safe space, even now, that's a problem to me. It's a problem when I bring those concerns, when I tell my story to my leadership and they do nothing. They say nothing. They throw a course at you. They check a box. when their body language says nothing when you're speaking to them, when they don't follow up with you and say anything. That hurts. That's more painful than those dirty looks I get at the door. That's more painful than the phone calls I make and hear the most awful of comments. And so when I push for change and I push for a better market center, you say nothing to me. But you throw a class at me and think that's good. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that because there's so many sacrifices that I make that you are unaware of just to be here. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm weary. But again, I still do the dance. I still pay my dues. I still show up. I fill a seat. But you don't see me. I'm not heard. That's a problem to me. And so that's why we are doing real estate in color, to shed light on the real issues that are really happening still in 2024 here on the beautiful Emerald Coast of Florida. There are still problems when it comes to color. There are problems when it comes to representation. There are problems when it comes to inclusivity and diversity. There are problems when you only see things in black and white. It's not just black and white, it's in color. And it's okay to be too colorful. I am too colorful, and I love being too colorful. And I hope that I can share everything about being too colorful with all of you and welcome you in. And so now this first part was not fun, but I needed to bring you up to speed into where I am at right now, and my feelings and my emotions, my heartaches, my troubles, my headaches. This is where I'm at. But I'm still kicking butt, closing deals in my high heels, because that's just what I do. And I won't let that stop me from being a champion. I'm a winner. You're a winner. We are all winners. And we're going to do this right. So buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. It's going to be a fun ride. It's going to be sometimes sad and emotional, sometimes exciting and thrilling. But it's going to be a ride. It's going to be a journey. So keep joining me for Real Estate in Color. These episodes will get exciting and packed with information and wisdom for all of you. But this is me. This is destiny. So welcome to Real Estate in Color, where thinking small is just too colorful. I'll see you next time.